So, I want to talk about bodybuilding and how it's evolved over the years and how it's actually sabotaging your success and ruining the youth. So, I'm going to start off with the good first. Bodybuilding gets you out of the house, gets you to socialize if you're in the same field as someone else in terms of the gym, and you're moving your body and you're getting stronger and working on your mindset. That's it. Once you get past, maybe I'd say, the first two phases of bodybuilding, first is strength and then hypertrophy, you're pretty much finished. There is no pursuit in it whatsoever unless you want to compete and you want to make a good living out of it. Not everyone's going to be a Chris Bumstead. That guy is a one of a kind, and as you see in his vlogs now, he's actually evolving over time and he's changed his training. He's doing more of the more athletic, I'd say, approaches to training. So when it comes to like explosive power, he's doing a lot more stretching and mobility. You see the same with Mike Thurston. He's done a lot more mobility and stretching work. It's because bodybuilding, the posing is cool. You can stay mobile and flexible, and you see the bodybuilders in the 90s back in the day, they were able to do the splits and all that. However, too much weights, too much of the same movement keeps you stiff and you don't move as much. That's number one. Number two, you're living in the gym, you will get the physique. However, there is life, and we're living in a time now where it's a bit unpredictable. I mean, obviously you got to stay cruisy, even though it's a bit random right now. However, you got to have something else going for you. You got to have outside hobbies. You can't just be in the gym. You got to play sports. You got to socialize. I don't know whether that's going out, being out and about, being a bit of a rowdy bloke or lady, going to festivals. I'm not a big fan of that stuff, but I think that is not a bad thing. And then as well, just traveling and just being a social person, being interesting, having a body of work, either having a good job that's paying you well and keeping your lifestyle up, or starting your own thing, making money for yourself and looking after people, helping them make money. That's what bodybuilding fails to do. And there's so much going on, and I work in a gym and I also work as a PT online, and what drives me insane is seeing everyone do the push-pull leg split. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad split. However, it keeps you stiff, it keeps you limber, and you're not reaching your full physique potential. Firstly, you do get pretty big, but there is so much that you could do that is more efficient, more practical in the real world, and just lets you enjoy life. I personally love full body, a mixture of upper, lower, and then maybe something specific. The best athletes in the world train like this. I've seen rugby players keep their size and balloon up into crazy strength, and they're playing weight by just doing full body sessions twice a week. Instead of you trying to juggle and figure out push-pull legs 5-6 days a week, and then you can't move, or you get pins and needles when you're driving your car for long distances. It's just not worth it. And it drives me insane for people. They just try one split out in the gym, and then that's the end all be all, and they reckon they know everything, and then at the same time, that's all they're comfortable with. They don't want to innovate, they don't want to change. And they don't have a fresh perspective. If you want to maximize your body, you got to learn how primal movement patterns work. You got to be efficient, and you got to be consistent, and then you got to train with intensity. But then you also have deload weeks where you don't overload your joints and soft tissues as much. Bodybuilding is a kind of a dead end scope, in my opinion. It's good for the first couple of years, especially when you're doing a bit of powerlifting and strength training at the start, just getting your body moving and building up the strength in the connective tissues. But then after that, really just hypertrophy. But this hypertrophy, you're not going to be a good tennis player if you're just going to be building muscles, if you're doing 3 sets of 10 to 12. You're not going to be a good wrestler if you're doing just seated cable rows instead of doing something a bit more conducive to your sport, another row variation. You're not going to travel as well if you're just doing barbell hip thrusts. you're not going to be able to sit in your car or on a plane. Bodybuilding has its time, but I think it's time for a change. You cannot just be stuck doing the same thing. It's the same people that work the same job day in, day out, and they're wondering why they're just lagging behind. They can't innovate or figure out what do I actually do with my life. If you really need help, find a coach. Myself, I'm doing a bit of online PT at the moment. I'll put the link in the description and you can apply there if you want. But figure out, start watching, start moving, how to move like an athlete. Just even start going on walks and start traveling. Forget the gym. You'll be surprised how much you'll neglect and not enjoy the gym after you start traveling and moving around and actually being a human being. You'll be like, why did I just waste all this time doing this? So that's my 2 cents on bodybuilding. I think it's a bit of a dead end now. Everyone's too caught up in looking good, especially blokes. It's cringy as shit. I'll stay a bit PC just for everyone on here, but it's just cringy as a guy. You're trying to look like a girl. You're trying to perfect everything, and you're too busy focused on how your muscle looks and how you flex and how you pose. Like I said earlier, we're living in unpredictable times. And there's no time for that right now. You gotta make something of yourself. You gotta learn how to adapt with the fast pace of living that we've got now. And you gotta pretty much set yourself up for life. There's no time to mess around. So again, anyone that wants any PT, just a consultation online. I'm doing consultations online, and then I'll see if you're a good fit for me. I'll put the link down in the description, but start living in the real world instead of the gym and push-pull legs and bodybuilding. It's not for everyone.